Should we get going here, you think, or you want to wait a minute or two?
We should probably wait a minute or so.
Yeah, okay.
I can bring up that slide.
Again, that helped quite a bit.
Yeah. Thanks, Bryce.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry about the technical difficulties on the last one.
Oh, that's all right. We want to start on this one, or
Yeah.
start on the calendar.
I think the 99 would be great, that model. And I don't know if you want to recap last year again, just real quick.
Yeah.
That'd be great. And Victor, I don't know if you want to run with it.
No, that's okay. Jessica did a great job coming in. I totally
Yeah,
got totally tongue twisted and stuff when we started going because the switch off threw me off.
So yeah, if you want to go after Jess, you can, and I can jump in whenever. Is that
Sure.
okay, or you want me to go with it?
Yeah, just go. Jessica did great, and then just go with it. And after that, if I'll jump in and stuff like that. We're not really discussing any of the slides yet. I want to save that for June.
Okay, perfect.
All right, we will get going here as people pop in, not a problem. And welcome to the meeting. Thanks for being here, all you 2014 girl parents. And I know probably most of you all have been a part of our pre-competition group this year, but I think maybe a couple of you haven't been. My name's Jess. I'm just gonna give a recap really quick of where the girls have come so far in our pre-comp development league, and then we'll move on to what it looks like moving forward. So again, thanks for being here. So at the 7v7 this year, our girls have been doing really well. Our Corvallis girls have a huge 2014 age group pool, as well, huge. A lot more than the Albany side. The Albany side is a lot heavier on the 2015s. So it's a little bit different, but I think all of our 2014s and that top group have been really doing well. They have gained a lot of confidence on the ball this year, in terms of just being able to dribble by someone or decisions they're making. Their speed of play has gone up a lot. And that's been really fun to watch. I like also their cohesion, their cohesiveness has been really fun. They've been a fun group. And so they've created a lot of good building blocks to be moving on into the 9v9. The field is starting to feel a little bit small, although I think we still have a couple weeks left, and then that 9v9 field is probably going to feel pretty big for a little bit for the girls. But it's been fun when they recognize their success in terms of decision making. The things that we ask of them is, do I have a plan? Can I shoot? Can I pass? Can I dribble? Like, those are the main things we've been drilling into them for a couple years now, right? And that was a lot at first, and now they're getting to the point where, like, yeah, we got that down. And so they're going to get ready to have more questions asked of them going into the 9v9. So I think moving on from there, I think we're good. Blake, you want to take it from here? Just moving up into the 9v9?
Yeah, be great. Hi, I'm Blake Leamy, and I'm the technical director of the club. And so been doing this for a while in town, and excited to have you guys your children coming into the 9v9 league with us. We're really excited about the direction of the club, and we're making some really big strides organizationally as far as just really dialing in operations with Bryce, and also just the coaching side of it. We're really starting to develop a model of the game and coaching plans and things. And so we just keep getting better, which is exciting. We are excited about the next couple of years, and glad to have you guys joining us. So this year, going into it, they'll be playing 9v9 leagues, and there's a calendar down just below. Kind of, you guys can see that calendar a little bit. Our model last year for pre-high school was that we were combining age groups for academy experiences. So for instance, the 2012s, 13s combined for academy, and we found that to be a little bit difficult to manage and to keep things consistent. So as a club, we've just decided to have the Navy teams be a little bit more competitive in nature, and maybe going to things that are travel tournament things. Now, the 2014s did not participate in the academy last year, but the Navy teams may or may not, depending on where the parents are, go to some travel tournaments. But with that being said, the way that we're going about things is that tryouts are in early May, and there'll be 3 sessions, and the second week of tryouts, we will notify everybody via email Thursday or Friday that week, and we'll let you know, depending on where we're at with our numbers, as far as just being organized and being able to get everything into stuff, and Bryce can basically get those emails out. And then we have a team formation Wednesday, the 22nd, that we highly encourage people to come to that. You'll be able to meet the coach, talk to the coach, ask questions. Also, just kind of get the spiel from myself and a couple of the technical directors and board meetings. We try to make that board members, sorry, but we try to make that meeting pretty quick, but also informative. It just gives everybody a chance to get to know one another and talk. And then last year we took time off right after tryouts, and we found that to be pretty difficult for the families, because the kids were still in town, and then it was hard when people were vacationing all summer. So this year we've decided to train right away after tryouts, get to know the coaches, get to know one another, get kind of a rhythm of what we're doing, and then take some time off all the way through mid-July. And of course, people are still going to be vacationing and doing things, and that's just perfectly fine. But we also want to be able to provide an experience for the kids that are here in training. So in all this summer training after we get back in July, will be getting us prepared to go to the Mount Hood Challenge, which is in the first weekend of August. So hopefully everybody will put that on their calendars and be ready to go to that. It's a really pretty easy drive. It's up in the Portland area. It's a very big tournament, 600 to 700 teams, and it's literally all over the place. But we get the schedules out in mid-July, but it's drivable. So it's not, you don't have to stay up there. You can if you want, but it's one of those tournaments that you can go up and drive back in a day. So that's part of the reason we're doing it. And there's so many teams in it. It allows us to put the teams in the proper divisions so that they can have a really good experience and not get either trounced or trounce on somebody. So we really like the idea of that tournament. After that, we'll start back up in August and start training again. And those will be two days a week. We do not know exactly what days we'll be training yet. That's going to be determined on lots of different things, field spaces, also coaches. There's a lot of different coaches that coach multiple teams, and sort of trying to get everybody's schedules sorted out so that we can make it work for everyone. In August and September and October, we will be training at least once a week once a week for sure at Crystal Lake, which is nice in Corvallis. We have a hard time in late October, November, because it's dependent on weather and whether the fields are available. And if they're not, then we're dependent on going on turf, and we only have 2 turf fields in Corvallis, unfortunately. And so sometimes it's very difficult for us to get onto CV and CHS. So we sometimes have to go to Y in that late November or early November times. And then from mid-November through mid-January, there's winter break, and that's where time people take time off. And then we start back up on in the winter through May. And it's really through the middle of April to the end of April. And tryouts, of course, from the next year's tryouts will be in May. So that's kind of the calendar. I don't know if anybody has any questions on those. There was questions in our last meeting with the boys about how kids are placed and how tryouts work. And so I do want to talk a little bit about that. Players, especially at this age, they're just young. And so their development can happen really quickly. That, they're in growth spurts, they're in maturity spurts. And so, relative to where they're placed, right after tryouts isn't where they're going to end up probably all the time, through their playing time. So what we're looking to do is form a pretty small, this was last session with the boys, but small numbers in the Navy team. So, 11 or 12 girls will be on those teams. And then the white team would have more, so that we can move players up if need be. And last year we were sharing players, Navy players would go down and play with the white team, and the white team would come play with the Navy team. So, and we do train at the same time. So that's easy for carpooling and all those things. And again, most of the time in the summer, until probably the week or so before the tournament, we'll be training in a pool together because those girls are friends, and we don't want to separate them so quickly. At sometimes in a training session, maybe halfway through, we'd take the Navy and scrimmage, and the white would scrimmage, but they'll be together at the same field and same space. So that's really important for their development as far as friends and the club experience in general. Any questions on that at all? Okay, I'd like to introduce Victor Martinez. Victor has been in our area for about a year and has worked a lot in the Northern Cal, Los Gatos area, Northern California as a coach, and has helped at San Jose State. And so we're really lucky that he's joining our staff this year, and he's going to be running the girls' side, middle school and high school, and he's also going to be in charge of the 9v9 programs. So you'll see Victor quite a bit. And Victor, I'm going to let you kind of introduce yourself and then fill in the gaps that I missed, if you like.
Hello, everybody. Yes, my name is Victor Martinez. I am a native of California. I've been living here for about a year and a half, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to help the program, get into develop players and continue to do the good work that they've been doing. As far as the tryouts are concerned, some of the concerns that we had about, what are the differences between the Navy, we keep mentioning this color, or the white team. It's just a developmental stages. Basically, we put the players that have relatively higher level of skills, we put them together. And then the kids that still need a little more work in certain areas, they'll stay with the white teams. But it doesn't mean, as Blake said, it doesn't mean that they'll stay there. They're going to be observed to be able to see how well they're coming along and being moved around. So there'll be a lot of movement for each player to be able to play in different positions, and also not only that, but play in different competitive teams or different levels, whether that be the blue playing the Navy, or the Navy playing on the white, or the white players playing on the Navy, so they can understand some other things and kind of see where they're at. But we're going to be picking up where Jessica left off, basically with introduction of more things that are to come. For example, she talked about her 1v1s and the confidence that they have. We'll be introducing smaller groups now, 2v2s, and then there's more thought process that will go on there. Other general principles that we'll be addressing and continuing to work, that things that she mentioned as well, which is the technical aspects, right? The dribbling, the passing, the receiving, the shooting, and things like that, so they can get more comfortable with their skill levels and stuff like that. But now they'll be applied to a bigger, an additional, rather than 1v1s. They'll get more involved into small groups now. So if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them for you. All of us are here right now, so it's an open forum for you to ask questions. And please ask. I know no question is, we need all the questions. It's as simple as it may be. We need to answer because I'm sure other people are thinking the same thing. So please, if you have a question, go ahead and ask it.
Isn't this a bit intense for 10-year-olds of a commitment?
Do you want me to take that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, well, it depends on your child, and it depends on your family and what you think's intense. And so maybe if you could define that a little bit, but we're twice a week training and one game. So we didn't talk about this, but during the fall and spring, there's just one game a weekend. In general, there's sometimes where there might be 2 games in a weekend, and then the following weekend you'll have a game off. So the intensity part, it's certainly a jump up from recreational soccer. We certainly try to keep it fun, and I guess everybody gets to define for themselves or their family what intensity is and what fun is. So sometimes competitive soccer and soccer clubs isn't for everyone. And then we also have the other spectrum where people want more. So it's one of these things where we're trying to find a balance between keeping it appropriate for a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old or a 16-year-old, but also giving the experience that people want. So, we're always open for those discussions, and happy to talk about it. If your child's having a hard time managing the intensity, then we're okay with people taking a day off. It's not like you have to show up every day. Especially at this age, right? Some things go on. If you have other things going on, a vacation or things like that, or whatever, that's just perfectly fine. We just would like to know so that when we're planning our sessions out, that we can make appropriate session planning. So, we try to keep it as fun as we can, with also giving kids instruction and helping them develop as soccer players, because learning's fun, right? And playing soccer is fun. So we're definitely trying to make that something that works for the kids. So hopefully that answers your question. And I don't know if Jess or Victor, you guys have anything to add to that?
Go ahead, Molly. You want to ask something else?
No, thank you. I guess I was more meaning the length of this season and the length of the commitment. No, I don't think that 3 days a week is intense. It just kind of becomes that this is your primary sport at 10, and so that kind of narrows down other things. So
yeah, I think that
for a long time. So I just wonder.
Yeah, totally get it. And we have a lot of kids that are doing other sports and basketball and softball, and some of them, that middle schoolers are doing middle school soccer, and they're doing cross country and other things. So it depends on how your family wants to manage your time and things. But we're happy to have those discussions. And there's times where kids don't make 2 practices in a week because they're doing something else, and we get it, piano or whatever it is. So yeah, and we're happy for those conversations for sure.
Yeah, Molly, it doesn't stop it. That traditionally there's at this age groups and basically a little bit until maybe 8th grade or something like that. They're pretty much playing different sports. Even the 8th graders, some of the 8th graders are playing different sports. As long as it's all communicated in what is happening, and we know what where what you're doing, and you let us know, that way we can adjust accordingly for training sessions or whatever, and maybe catch up on another time. But other than that, everybody does it. I mean, it's not something new. It's not like you're going to be remember, these guys, like you said, they're 10 years old, so there's going to have a lot of other things going on that they want to do too. They're not specialized or anything like that. So that means specialized meaning they only play one sport. It's not a good idea. They should be well-rounded. So there's no problem playing other sports at this age group. Of course, we need them at the game. We don't want to be short either. So, I mean, if we have we have a game, we don't want to play with 7 people on the field, because everybody's out playing basketball. That's why it's a good idea to let us know.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good question, by the way, Molly. Anyone else?
Well, if you do think of things afterwards, you can certainly email myself or Victor about any questions you have. We'd be happy to talk to anybody about those questions and clean things up. And we really look forward to seeing people in a few weeks. Tryouts. From here, I think we'll just go ahead and end it. And if, like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead and give us an email. All right. Thank you very, very much, everybody. Thanks.
Well, thank you for being here. We'll see you guys at training.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.